Journal entry, 2nd of the month of May, in the year of our Lord 1181. As the demonic miasma had struck down our commander, my father had tasked me with leading the troops and to cleanse the lands. Wherever we went, we encountered more men, corrupted, gone mad, or evil in their nature, who would drive their conscripts into our blades and shields. Yet we did not falter. As their power waned, so did the scourge on the lands between us and the French capital. In the end, the king surrendered, hoping to save his skin by submitting himself to our mercy. The sights we beheld when we entered the castle are beyond description. I will only say that much is being burned, and the priests are hard at work to cleanse rooms one by one with incense, holy water, and prayer. Greater sorrow would have yet befallen those left within, if it wasn't for Giuditta, a Sicilian maid who had hidden the children away and prevented their sacrifice in the unspeakable caverns below. Although she is my age, her hair has turned white from the demonic forces, yet her spirit remains implacable. She has been of great assistance to me in finding those who were in league with evil, and despite her common birth, we have asked my father to allow me her hand in marriage, which he has, to my mother's great relief, gladly accepted. My duties will be to find and root out all remnants of the evil that had befallen these lands, while my father will lead the troops himself against the men of Al-Andalus who have invaded in the south. We will have to deal with the subjects that have been captured or have at least escaped at some point, and are known members of the evil cult, like the Duke of Normandy, I believe, was one of them. We've got the Prince of France himself, and we've got the Marquess of Poitiers, the former tutor of the King's Court, that we still need to catch. Meanwhile, the armies from Al-Andalus have invaded the places in the south, and we will have to lead our own troops against them. But the plague in the north is somewhat relieved and seems to be fading away. And it is far from a capital, so there shouldn't be any immediate need of isolation or anything similar. I am leading the second army of Clermont-Ferrand, and we will be returning towards Toulouse for now, and then we will see if we can catch the enemy in the plains of Armagnac, or if we will have to fight them. They have a fair amount of infantry, I believe, and a fair amount of mounted troops as well. So we will have to see. But I don't see much in terms of pikemen. Oh no, there were a few. So we will have to see how well we can stand up against them, given that they outnumber us 2-1. And we still have the second besieging army as well that we can send south, probably towards Montauban for now. And we'll have to be holding them back somewhat and counter-siege the fortresses that have been taken by the enemy. Normandy has declared war and an uprising against us, and it seems that the Duke of Normandy, who is a known kinslayer, a murderer, a witch, and is infected, definitely is in league with the evil that has been going around these lands, and has managed to convince some young duchesses in I think in the British lands that are allied to join him in this uprising. So we will have to deal with with Normandy in the north, and at the same time we will have to deal with about 6,000 troops in England. And we'll have to deal with the Al-Andalusian incursion in the south as well. So we might have to see if we can get some assistance at some point, because this is going to be a tricky battle in the south, and I don't think we can fight both at the same time. Probably we'll try to see if we can force a white peace. They are battling for the March of Vizcaya, which technically is belonging to the region, chiefdom of Vizcaya. But I'm not intending to invade Al-Andalus and force a truce by victory in the field, but instead we'll see if we can come to an arrangement and simply simply find a white piece. I could surrender, but that would be costly, and it would further alienate the vassals. We might be able to call Italy to assist us against the Andalusian troops. So I think that's probably a good idea, and we may have to see if we can get the help of King Jasbek against the reclamation of Vizcaya, and then hopefully Italy can send their forces south while we are dealing with the uprising of Normandy in the north. So that's the plan for now. We'll have to try to avoid the plague, the area that are still plagued. The plague is receding, but some areas are still infested with miasma, and we want to avoid that anybody else catches it. We've seen how deadly this plague can be, and the evil, of course, yet is not completely defeated. So we'll send the troops around, and we will send the other army slightly, the first army slightly in the rear. Then we will accost Normandy in the north and see if we can pacify that relatively quickly, and then assist the Italians in the south against Al-Andalus. Philippa, one of my courtiers, she's the daughter of Philip and Laura. She has become of age, and once again a very bright young lady at our court. It's always good to have those around. We've got Count Alderic, who is a known cannibal and part of the cult. So let's begin imprisoning those that we know of. We've got Albertu of Montlhéry, who is a witch, and we might be able to imprison him as well. But we'll have to take matters one at a time. So let's begin with arresting Count Alderic II, and he will be dealt with swiftly. The Count of Sablé, who we already had in captivity, is unfortunately, and who is possessed and a clear member of the cult, is scheming against us. So that's another faction that we need to keep an eye on. And but one at a time. For now, we will deal with Normandy first. Good news from Italy. King Jasbek has accepted. For now, Bayonne is under siege and probably will fall before Italy get there. But as per my orders, Count Alderic is now to be confined in his home. I've posted some of my guards to ensure he is compliant with the house arrest. Good. We'll not leave it at that, though. So. We will immediately execute the count for his crimes, to make it clear, and he shall be. We could behead him, which would be the regular execution for a nobleman. But I'm thinking actually to show the public that we are serious about dealing justice to those who have inflicted such pain. We will burn him at the stake and. Make it clear to everybody that just because he is of noble birth, that does not exclude him from justice. So for his crimes of cannibalism and demonic collusion and membership in that cult, he shall be executed, burnt at the stake, and his soul will rot in hell. So that's the first one down, which gets us to Curatore Albertu of Montlhéry, a known witch and participant, and we will attempt to imprison him as well. He might be able to escape, but we shall see about that. So our staff is chasing them down while I am leading the armies. And he has been confined as well. He's holding a grudge, not for long, because we will be dealing out justice very swiftly. He is a proven witch and member of the cult of murdering and consuming the flesh of children for demonic powers, and as such he shall as well be burnt at the stake and executed. So that's him down. We've got Marquis Suero of Poitiers. He is a known murderer, a kinslayer, and he is infested as well. But I'm not sure if that's enough for us to, if that's enough for us to imprison him legally. So we'll have to see about that. We might need more for that particular snake. So I could imprison him, but it would be an act of tyranny, and he would escape as well. So yeah, this although we know that he was a member and a leading member of this cult, we could ask the Pope to have him excommunicated, but that would cost 500 piety. So it's probably not necessarily worth it, and that still would not be enough to, I believe, not be enough to imprison him. So what we know his crimes, but we cannot prove his membership in the leading of the cult in France and demonic collaboration. We can't legally imprison him. Which brings us to Count Humphrey of Sablé, who is possessed, and that still, although we have proof that, or we know that he was part of the conspiracy, we don't have sufficient proof for the Justicars to have him imprisoned, and as such it could be considered an act of tyranny. Now Italy is mobilizing, and we're just hoping that they will accost the Al-Andalusian troops. We do have a holy order here, didn't we? In Nîmes, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we don't have enough piety to get their assistance, so we will have to make do without them, and in the meantime rely on the Italians to accost the troops in the south while we are moving northwards. The English troops have been sighted in the Channel, and that means we might be able, if they are to set land in Normandy, we might be able to intercept them before they can organize. The Al-Andalusians are heading towards Béarn, and that is probably going to be after Bayonne has fallen, and the Italians are still in the east. So the Second Army of Clermont-Ferrand will be sent to interdict the English. We do have to be careful with the plague, so as such we have to be careful not to go through the areas that are still afflicted by the old demonic plague that had been risen there, and we'll bring the Second Army to bringing the siege engines in the rear. Meanwhile, the English troops are disembarking from the Seine at Évreux, and we will try to catch them there before they can organize themselves. So we will send the Second Army towards where they are likely going to begin besieging, and we'll have to be careful with the plague-ridden areas here still as well. So Versailles must be protected, and we do have a martial perk available. So let's look at that in a minute. Meanwhile, they have begun the siege of Dreux, but it is going to take them 8 months to take the castle, even with support from the British. All right, I think prepared conscription makes the most sense at this point. So I do also want to get living off the land, but for now we'll get prepared conscription. That'll improve the cost of our mobilized troops somewhat, and we'll intercept the enemy at the siege and see if we can squash them between our approaching troops and the castle. They are trying to escape north, but we'll see if we can catch them. We've caught one group of them under the Duke of Normandy. If we can capture him himself, then that would give us enough leverage to end this uprising once and for all. They are bringing a fair number of troops, including some Huscarls of their own, but ours are significantly better, and in general our men-at-arms are better trained, more motivated, and better led than the enemy troops. So that should give us a distinct advantage, especially that the opponent has recently disembarked. And with that, the Duchess of Brittany is offering her support. That is very noble of the young lady against the Al-Andalusians. So I shall accept that for a small price. She has joined, and we have captured. We'll see if we can catch the rest of the Second Army of Northamptonshire, the rest of the British force that has joined here. but we have significantly defeated the Duke of Normandy, and we have taken some prisoners as well. So let's make sure that the English will pay the price for their misguidedness, and that was a smaller group that we are forcing, despite the slightly disadvantageous positioning on our side, into submission very quickly, and a few more enemy combatants have been captured. Now this should allow us, that will allow us, since we've captured the Duke of Normandy, I believe, that should allow us to enforce our demands, and with that the whole uprising has been defeated. Now we can send the troops south, and with the aid of Brittany and Italy, we should be able to deal with Al-Andalus relatively quickly. So let's send the main army towards Montauban, and we've got the siege engines. We'll send them a little bit more east, probably to Odessa, just to be safe. Now I don't think we can get there before the siege ends, but let's take a look at our prisoners. Who do we have? We've got the Duke of Normandy himself, who is a kinslayer, a murderer, a witch, and was clearly implicated in demonic activities. So he, not for his uprising, but for his previous crimes, shall burn at the stake as an example to all those who engage in such activities. We've got the Earl of Staffordshire, who obviously is an honorable man, so we will simply, as customary, ransom him out. We've got Franck Ridel. Well, he is not particularly well known or liked. He is a Norman knight that has not been, he might be a vengeful man, but he is a man that has not been involved in anything evil. With 13 prowess, I don't think we want to particularly recruit him. I think I was simply, I'm simply going to release him, and the same, we've got Ancel, an enemy knight with questionable capabilities, so we shall simply release him as well. We have captured the sword of Earl Osred, so that is probably something that I can hand over and give that away, because it's most likely not much better than the family heirloom battle axe. Yeah, it's +3 prowess and some knight effectiveness. But I shall give that to Prince Aldebert, and he shall wield it. He shall wield it for now, and use it in battle. Use it well in battle until I will hang my own axe and pass it on to him and my armor. So for now, he shall have the sword. And the siege of Pau has been lost, and the Andalusian troops are moving north into the forests. Ideally, we'd be able to intercept them in the plains and use our superior cavalry to its full extent. But for now, we'll head towards Beaumont-sur-Lez, and then we will have to see what the tactical situation is going to be. We are awaiting the assistance from Italy and Brittany against. Well, I think almost 3 to 1 that they outnumber us. We could move towards Armagnac in the plains and see if we can. What do they have? Mostly that's infantry, heavy infantry. That's, I think, more heavy infantry. Let's have a quick look at what that, if I can. Yeah, that is heavy infantry. So that's 1,000 plus, so almost 2,000 troops of heavy infantry. They have some pikemen, they have some archers. The other armies slightly more west. They do have a fair number of light horse, but the rest there is levies. And these armies are bringing in some camel riders as well. So I think our pikemen can deal with the light horsemen, but when it comes to the heavy infantry, they do outnumber us, or at least they do outnumber us somewhat. So maybe we can hire a few more. That is going to take a while. We'll raise a few more heavy cavalry, But I think we can write them down if we can fight them in favorable terrain. In the forests, I wouldn't be so sure. So for now, we'll move towards Armagnac and see if we can defend there. The siege engines shall head towards Toulouse for now and get ready once we have defeated the enemy army in the field. As there are still further holdings in the south near Aragon that we can't easily deal with at this point. But we don't want to necessarily defeat Al-Andalus. I'm happy with a white peace at this point if we can we can stop the bloodshed because we have been in the field for a long time. The Satan's fire is spreading in Cherbourg. Okay, so that was probably brought in by the English. That is yet another plague that we need to worry about, but it's far from the capital, so no need for isolation just yet. Just something that goes on in the north as we chase down the Spanish. But it's probably worth getting my physician to control the plagues and begin organizing countermeasures against that. The Andalusians have retreated further west, so I'm not sure if they're planning to embark. How are they on supply? Some of them are undersupplied, but most of them seem to be doing reasonably well. So we'll just have to observe. We do eventually want to retake Po, but my granddaughter has been born. Okay, we'll look at that first. They seem to be going at sea. My daughter Matilda has given birth, and we have, of course, Peronella, as is, may she strong and wise. My granddaughter has been born, so we do need to get her. Get her somebody to look after her, the bright little child. And obviously, where is she? Her mother should be. There she is. Princess Matilda of Toulouse should be taking care of her. So it's not, and we appear to have a few more children in court who don't have any guardians. So including Prince Alderic, wasn't he? I thought he was my ward. So I'm not entirely certain what happened here, but I'll take care of him, and also, where was the other one? Prince Thierry. So I shall take these two under my wing, and we will. It could be that I assigned somebody else earlier. So let's see if we can impart some traits on him. We would definitely want him to be just, and the other one. We'll see if we can do anything there. 70%, we could brave or just. Yeah, we'll go with just. Justice for the downtrodden is the family motto after all. So after slightly family matters, let's get back to chasing down the Spanish. Okay, it seems the Andalusians have turned around and are looking at returning to Po. That is not an ideal terrain, especially that the enemy holds the castle for us to fight in. So I'm not certain that this is a fight that we necessarily want to take, especially that we are now vastly outnumbered. So let us retreat eastwards again towards Armagnac and see if we can bait them into following us. And it hasn't worked out for Thierry. He is not as brave as just as he should be. And the mighty boarhide has been improved for additional court grandeur. That's always good to know. So that's the work of my court. We've got 15,000 Spanish at this point, Andalusians against us. So we definitely need to wait for the reinforcements to arrive. We've got 4,000 troops in the north and 5,000 troops from Italy coming, and that should even the odds pretty well. So once the rest of the troops arrives, then we shall take on the invaders. The Spanish appear to wish to give battle in the fields of Armagnac, and despite the fact that they outnumber us almost 3-1, I think with the castle behind us, I'd be confident to hold them there and not retreat and let yet another castle be besieged. So we will join them in battle, And it looks like they were a little over-eager. They have brought their heavy infantry along, as well as some of their light horse. We don't really have much to counter their heavy infantry, because we don't have any skirmishers on our side. But our Huskarls are significantly better trained and equipped than the enemy. And obviously our cavalry fighting in favorable terrain, and them not having any option to counter them, I think this will do them in rather quickly. So we'll see if we can defeat the vanguard of them before the rest of the army arrives, and ensure that not another castle shall be besieged, and no more Andalusian troops will pillage the lands. Right, now we're fighting the full army of them. They have brought everybody in, and it's 13,000. So the main body, after they've lost about 1,000 of the vanguard, the main body is coming in. The camel riders aren't doing very much, and their pikemen cannot stand up against our cavalry either. So we do have the advantage, and we have much better troops. So despite the fact that they are numerically superior in vast numbers, we have been able to defeat them decisively in the field, and we are now known for our dedication to the faith after the Spanish have lost almost 4,000 to our 600 in the field of battle. And this was not an easy battle, but I think it was an opportunity to take in favorable terrain, and the heavy cavalry has absolutely decimated the enemy for very little loss on our side. And 3 enemy knights have been slain in battle by ours as well, and we have stood up, and now the troops are in retreat. We have stood up against them, which means we can now bring the first army with the siege engines in and see if we can retake Castle Po, while the remnants of the Al-Andalusian host is making its way back towards lands that they control.